Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 12:17 p.m. on the 2nd of May 2024, and it's a rainy grey day today, but that's okay. You know, we need the rain for the garden, so everything in perfect harmonic resonance. Am I right? My cleaning lady just left, and she tells me that there was serious flooding in Dubai, and here it's raining too, but it's only a light drizzle. But yes, the weather gods have been kind of misbehaving a bit in various parts of the world. The weather gods, or the harpists, the weather geoengineering, interfering with Mother Nature. Trust the science types. They don't realise that when you interfere with nature, there are actually consequences of your actions. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm striving to be happy in my own little sacred space world. Had a bit of a rough night. I mean, I was up 5 times, but that's average, I guess. Can't really complain. I've had worse nights than that. And we've got Charlie here, being Charlie, and I invited her to come and make the video with me because she was looking a little bit bedraggled and miserable in her cage. I did put her outside, but I don't like her being out in the rain. She's not a wild bird, and I don't want her to get sick, so she got brought back in, and even Rati commented that she looked a bit disappointed that she'd rather have been outside. But anyway, it's windy and it's a bit cool out there. So we're here, living our best life, Charlie and I. So today's video is entitled, or offerings on Focal Media is entitled, Always Be a Dragon. And the photograph that I posted is a quote from Arundhati Roy, who is an author, Indian author, and obviously from India. And she wrote, "The system will collapse if we refuse to buy what they are selling, their ideas, their version of history, their wars, their weapons," including bioengineered weapons, but she wrote this before that even came about, so it was a bit prescient on her part, was it not? Their notions of inevitability. Remember this: we be many and they be few. They need us more than we need them. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. Second of May 2024, 11:05 a.m. It's drizzling with light, it should say rain. Autocorrect changed it to sun. What fresh hell is this? You have to laugh. Hang on, quick edit. You'll have to change on the fly like I did yesterday. With light, actually I wrote, dear goddess. With light rain this morning. Rati is here. Cleaning. She's a lovely woman. I'm very fond of her, actually. Everything is right with the world. I am alive even though I was up 5 times last night, as my handsome, talented shaman friend Michel Citrine, I didn't put his name in, once advised me, holding on while letting go. I made another flower clip. Here it is. Here it is. I forgot to post the, it was the last of the flowers I hadn't finished off. I made another flower clip. It's weird as why all these changes of my words? As I balked at finishing this one after making about 5 others a few weeks ago. A typical Aries trait to suddenly leave off projects. I do that a lot. I am glad I finished it this morning. Success is reaching completion in any endeavour. I am glad I took the break and went into it quite happily this morning. Creativity flows when I am not pressurizing myself like a pressure cooker waiting to explode. It was quite weird how I got to this. There's one more flower I could do, but it's got foam inside, and I'm trying to work out how to work around it so I can attach it to the hair clip. So I might not bother because I've got quite a few flowers now. I gave some away to my friend Lynn to give to her daughters, so I made quite a few. But anyway, I'm not sure why I balked at finishing this one off. It was really weird. I just had this weird panic attack that for some reason I couldn't be bothered drilling into it when I drilled all the others without any problems. It's almost like it had its own will not wanting to be turned into a hair clip. But here it is, done and dusted. Just had to leave it alone for a few weeks, and today I just randomly thought, I'm going to finish that off. So I'm glad I did. 2nd of May 2023. Here was another project that I worked hard on last year, clearly. Another YouTube video showcasing my freshly polished piece of boulder opal, which I still wasn't happy with, and went back in again and made it perfect. But yes, sometimes I do that. I think something's finished or good enough, and then I look at it later and go, no, that's not good enough, Tanya. You have to go over that. So I have this struggle with completing tasks sometimes. I don't know how much of it is my mental health issues and how much is it that I go into overwhelm or burnout. Sometimes it's burnout, which is interesting. I watched a video on YouTube about burnout and office workers this morning, and it's I experienced that when I had an office job for 12 months, and I was actually desperately ill and under constant attack by former family and former lover and his henchmen. It was fucking intense, people. I don't know how I survived it, quite frankly. And then at that point in time, I had a traineeship working in reception or admin at the Queensland Police Service Academy, and the irony was not actually lost on me, since they'd done nothing to protect myself and my children when we were being domestically terrorised by these creepy fucking Moroccan Israelis, am I right? It was intense. So I'd go to work broken down emotionally and mentally from the trauma and try and hold down the job and do my work as well. And after about 6 months into that job, I experienced burnout too. Could hardly drag myself up the stairs. It was that severe. But anyway, I haven't held down a job since about 4 months after I completed that traineeship because the other two jobs were also extremely abusive. So this is why I live in poverty now, and my sad little marginalised little state, trying to make things with my artistic creativity just for something to really do, just to feel useful and not completely, not completely marginalised and useless. Anyway, I'm not well. I've not been well for quite some time, with this bladder and gut issues and my mental health issues. So people judge you quite harshly without understanding the context, and have no idea, It's actually kind of miraculous that I'm still alive, quite frankly. So they have no idea, so they look at you like you're just some sort of white trash, and it's not like that at all. I've fought hard to survive my entire life. Anywho, on a happy note, here's a photo of me being awesome. Ha ha ha. Walking my little Charlie. So, what year was that? Last year. So it was before our Bobo died, so he would have been with us. But quite hungry and focusing on what I want to do for lunch. I'm quite peckish today. Kind of have a stomach ache, but I'm kind of at the same time feel hungry. It's a bit weird, people. Here I wrote underneath that photo, don't mind the boulder opal, Schmutz, it's German for dirt, all over my face. Lol, yeah, if you look at it, I look sort of a ghostly kind of pallor, but it's actually the dust from polishing up the opal, and then the ghostly pallor is not enough oxygen and overworking myself in projects when I'm not actually that well. So there is that, but I was kind of a bit in denial about it. At times I go into denial. I can achieve things, I can do things, I'm a capable, talented, clever woman, and then I crash and burn. So, had a lifetime of that, my darlings. Here I posted a lovely photo of a Stephanotis flower growing on someone's fence at the top of Opal Street, which is kind of lovely. So, opal dust on my face, Opal Street, and lovely Stephanotis flowers. It was a lovely day that day, actually. I was in a happy mood, feeling successful and joyous. Here is a wonderful photo that Jared made for me of his version or his representation of the voodoo god Papa Legba, the guardian of the underworld and of the crossroads. And Jared printed out a photo of that for me, which I have on his altar. Papa Legba's altar, not Jared's altar. But Jared is, he is godlike in his amazing artistic talents, and he's a wonderful human being too. So I'm very blessed with beautiful people in my life. In spite of my struggles, I've been blessed with the most wonderful friends and doctors, and I'm a very fortunate woman. Now, where did that go? Oh dear goddess. Well, that's random. Okay. We've had my computer's done a little flibbity gibbet, as it does. When it does a flibbity gibbet, it really throws a wobbly. gigantic gap there that I didn't put there. So I've got to now fix that gigantic gap. We're breaking up, mayday, mayday, mayday. Right, all fixed, done. Save and publish so I don't mess up my editing again for the rest of this reading. Oh dear goddess. This is why I am the way I am today, people. Yes, I was trying to scroll down and show you Papa Legba. Full length photo of him, but now his head's gone. But he's there. He's there. Much gratitude to Papa Legba, by the way. All the gods, archangels, angels, the good people who support me in my weird walk on planet Earth that is so weird but so soul nourishing at the same time. I might go out for lunch. I feel like going out somewhere and eating a nice lunch. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I know. But I'm not sure why I'm hungry while simultaneously having a really bad ache in my stomach. Doesn't bode well, people. Maybe I should just stay freaking hungry and fast and get rid of whatever the ache in my stomach is being bothered by. But I always eat because I'm an eater. I love eating. Here's the various phases of my April progress reports. Are you having a nice smoochy scratch up there? Look at her, she's so gorgeous. What are you doing, Charlie? Are you having a scratch? Oh my goodness. Second of May 2021. I might just go back to bed too. I'm in a weird mood today, I'm really happy. I'm happy that Rati came. It was lovely to see her. She's a lovely woman. And I'm happy that the floors are cleaned and the bathroom's cleaned. I'm happy, and yet I feel so unwell today. It's not mental issues, it's my gut. My gut. It's going to be my gut, I think. I think it's my gut. Maybe not. And not much sleep last night. But anyway, I'm happy. I'm delirious for fucking joy. And on that note, the beautiful sun just came out, started shining. I'm even happier now. Thank you, God and Goddess, creator of all that is, was, and ever shall be. But apparently we got more rain on the way, so, it's necessary. 2nd of May 2021. I'll show you the photograph and then I'll read you the description that came with it. But isn't that delightful? All those children with all their feet all pressed together, building a little kind of a wall. It looks a bit like a passion fruit flower. It's just so pretty. An anthropologist proposed a game to the kids in an African tribe. Doesn't specify which African tribe, but anyway. He put a basket full of fruit near a tree and told the kids that whoever got there first won the sweet fruits. When he told them to run, they all took each other's hands and ran together, then sat together, enjoying their treats. when he asked them why they had run like that, as one could have had all the fruits for himself, they said, Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the others are sad? Ubuntu in the Xhosa culture means I am because we are. And I really love that concept. I think that Ubuntu concept needs to be generated all across the world, not just in the Xhosa culture. I think the Xhosa language is the one where they talk with like tongue clicks as well. I think so. I could be wrong, but Anyway, I love that concept, and that photo is just sublime. All the children sitting together with their feet, all united as one, all happy, all carefree. How the world should really be, Never mind burning out and shitty fucking office jobs, being tortured by people often less educated or less intelligent than you. Oh, well, that sucks. We really are slaves to the machine in the West. Here's another quote by Carl Sagan. One of the saddest lessons of history is this: if we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. See also the COVID epoch, by the way. On the one hand, you had the Ubuntu consciousness of everyone bending over and obeying directives from celebrities, shillers and media and governments who knew no better than anyone else. So you had that version of Ubuntu, which was not cool, people, not cool. And then you had the gigantic bamboozle and the charlatanism and the totalitarianism that came with it, by the way. So no wonder Mama T's not quite happy about the state of our world, but what can I do all by myself on the edge, margins of society, but dance and mush my neck defiantly. Well, I'll have to do that in the privacy of my own home, since they fear my freedom so much. It's another symptom of this, the dulling down and the dumbing down and the chipping away at our personal agencies. Even though my friend, who I do love, means well for me, there is a double edge to that sword, and it cuts both ways. Take away my agency and my freedom, turning me back into a former zombie. That's the fucking end game, isn't it? 2nd of May 2020. Oscar Wilde. God is at no time hidden. He showeth himself in all times and in all places. God is in what is evil, even as he is in what is good. From Salome by Oscar Wilde. And oh, it's very windy outside. Wellington, New Zealand level of wind. I posted the line I cut from the Salome play, I presume that was for. So beautiful, and kind of just as I was mentioning moshing and holding onto my agency and my head and my neck. I'll show it to you again. There she is, holding up the head. Synchronicity, n'est-ce pas? Well, Mama T lost her head over lovers before, and I won't be going out of my way to lose my head over anyone again, much as I have a habit of loving people too much, and it is a disability actually. It's partly why I'm on a disability actually, the damage that was wrought to me by loving men too much, who weren't kind and didn't actually have my back. But it is what it is. My comment here is, how extraordinary. I just used the Salome reference in a comment on a memory I posted a few minutes ago. Then on scrolling down further, seeking interesting memories to repost, this was in my memories. My subconscious mind must have known it was there. Or am I psychic? Little bit of both, I'd say. Here I posted another meme. Oh, my stomach really is like aching bad. Don't know what that's about. All I've eaten this morning, which was naughty admittedly, was 3 of those like chocolate wafer things that they're rolled up and they're like a wafer stick. That's all I've eaten, so I shouldn't be feeling sick. Anyway, I know, Charlie. Mama T is grinding her gears. She's grinding her gears from inside her own body. It's getting a bit disturbing, to be honest, grinding my own gears. But I haven't been well all week, so it's just another manifestation of hell loops. Life will go on. Your abuser's trauma doesn't justify them abusing you. Repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times. Your abuser's trauma doesn't justify them abusing you. Here's looking at you, Gisela Phillips, Shira, whatever fucking name she ended up with, and David Phillips, and Trevor Singh, and Angela Stewart, and on it goes, and on it goes, and on it goes, and on it goes, till you learn to draw the line in the sand and break the intergenerational trauma and form a new timeline and a new pattern. Am I right? I'm right. I'm on a new timeline, but it's scaring me. I'm not sure I'm liking where it's going. It's getting very scary and gnarly indeed, because it was kind of predicted that my health would spiral under and I would have to fight hard back from the brink again, and kind of there, and I'm not liking it. I was kind of doing okay for a while there, and I've slumped. Mama T does not like it when she slumps. All of my abusers and all of their traumas broke me, but the king's horses and king's men, otherwise known as 2 psychiatrists and kinsmen, those not of my nuclear family of origin and adopted family, put me back together again. My champions and my heroes. My handsome, talented, wonderful, amazing psychiatrist refers to me as Joan of Arc and Boadicea, and I guess I do emblematically represent some of the powerful, amazing qualities of those 2 women. Joan of Arc talking to God or invisible voices guiding her along the way. I've had that quite a lot in recent years. And Boadicea fighting to the bitter end against the Roman oppression that raped her daughters and herself and killed her husband and took her lands. Very good reason for a Nicenian queen to go to war on their heads, am I right? So, Boadicea. Quite a woman she was, quite a woman. Maybe that was me in a previous lifetime, who knows? But I kind of love it that my psychiatrist calls me Boadicea. I've been in therapy with him for 13 and a half years, so he's more than once seen my warrior goddess spirit conflagrate when it was necessary, and he's seen my spiritual walk as well. It's nice to be seen and cared for and respected in your own unique path on planet Earth. Not many people were able to comprehend me and used that as an excuse to be savage and vicious and even try to kill me outright. It's sad, but it's true. It is what it is. But both my inner Joan of Arc archetype and my Boadicea archetype fought hard against this COVID epoch, and you know what? I'm so proud of that, even though I'm having a post-traumatic slump from the stress that I was under, fighting every day on social media, often a voice in the wilderness, being shut down by social media companies that were complicit. So there is that. But I thank you for finally waking up to the truth and letting me maintain my truth. It's a mark of honour and deep respect, and I'm grateful for that much at least, even though now I'm extremely exhausted, burnt out, unwell. The fight was worth it if I saved only one human being. And in Hebrew we say to save one person is to save the entire world, tikkun olam. So I'm proud of that fight that I put in, and I'm proud of my wild moshing ways in the dance. It was an artistic performance art representation of how I really feel about the state of our world and what's left to us now. So of course they're shutting that down because they don't want to see a wild woman in full warrior goddess, triumphant, defiant, rebellion, power. It terrifies the pants off them. Oh. I fell off the wall and my perch, and I got better at navigating my off with my own walls, and if necessary, putting them back up again. Diaphanous protective veils like a dancing Salome. Off with their heads. Or was that the Red Queen when someone ate all her stolen tarts? Mixed metaphors, a speciality. Quel dommage, ma petite, c'est un fait accompli. Giggles and tickles my toes, which I have freshly pedicured, as my intrepid feet were rather gnarly and grotesque, which they get a bit like that because I walk barefoot, so you know, it is what it is. 2nd of May 2019. Always be yourself, unless you can be a dragon. Then always be a dragon, my darlings. I worked out my friend Scott in Alter Egos as a dragon in Chinese astrology, and my former rabbi was a dragon too. Very powerful. I actually think my former half-sister's a dragon too. They're very powerful people. They're very powerful. They also tend to be a bit, narcissistic. But if it's not too bad and it's just, some narcissistic traits, I mean, everyone has some narcissistic traits, even I. But if it launches into full-blown narcissism, it can be very fucking dangerous and icky and ghastly indeed. But anyway, I was quite surprised when I worked that out. So yes. I myself am a snake, a wood snake in Chinese astrology. We're known to be beautiful and wise, but indolent. That means lazy. Well, I'm not lazy, but I strive to do things in such a way that I don't overwork myself and my nervous system, which is very, very delicate after decades of near-death experiences and trauma. It's always been delicate. It was delicate even in early childhood after, not dying a couple of times. So I have to kind of bank my energy and conserve it for my wild dance in the weekends, for example, or if I'm in the middle of making jewellery and I over stress myself wanting to complete something that's a bit challenging, I noticed that I would go quite berserk actually. I would drive myself so hard and then I would break down. So I'm kind of trying, I haven't made jewellery for a while for that reason. I'm kind of trying to calibrate things so that I'm in the flow, but I'm not overcompensating and pressurizing myself, because it causes breakdowns, and some of the breakdowns can be a bit fucking intense, quite frankly. It's why I'm still on a disability pension to this day. Even making these videos can be quite exhausting on my nervous system, especially when I'm rereading old traumas and opening up old wounds. It can be very draining on my psyche. But anyway, 2nd of May 2018. I had a lovely day yesterday. My pinking shears finally arrived in the mail, so I began working on my beeswax wraps, edging all the cloths. Then Jenny came over and we spent the afternoon and evening together. We went to Sunnybank and I bought some tops and underwear. We had a lovely tasting soup in an Asian restaurant there. Life is good, even though I have been exhausted. I spoke with my friend Margaret, who recommended I self-publish my book, which was something Crystal also suggested. So that is something to work towards. I have started editing my writings. Hopefully it gets published and can help or inspire at least one person. Mostly it is psychedelic dream as usual, psychobabble, but all good, all very good. I bought a steam iron and a pond pump today, so I've ironed the cloths to be made into beeswax wraps and set up the pond under the stairs and put relocated baby fish from the other ponds into it, feeling accomplished. I think my crazy neighbour John the Romanian may have died. 3 ambulances arrived, no one left with them. Now 2 police cars. Weird shit. 2 ambulances have now left. One's still here. My friend Kellyanne wrote, "That's weird, but maybe he just tried dealing with Centrelink online and by phone, and by the time he hung up, he needed some aftercare," which is hilarious. But I just put love instead of ha because it's sad, but it's fucking true, am I right? If you've ever relied on Centrelink for anything, you're treated like worse than an animal. You really are. They even hang up on you, or you get dropped out of the phone system. And then they had the robo-debt. It was just the whole system was so fucking abusive. So I knew where she was at, so I sent her a love heart rather than laughing at our misfortune, right? It is what it is. But if you don't laugh, you'd cry sometimes. Sometimes I've laughed and cried and laughed again in hysteria. It used to be that bad. Jared asked, "Is his boarder around?" And Jenny, "You weren't undressing in front of the window again, lol, causing him to get too excited." And to that I actually did laugh, because I have to sneak around my house trying not to get caught undressing. It's too many eyes watching. It's like a fucking fishbowl, this house. It's too many eyes watching me at any given time. It's a bit fucking creepy, quite frankly. So I did laugh at that, because that's sad but true, but hilarious. Then she wrote, "Oh my God, sorry, that isn't bad taste, especially if something has happened to your neighbour, but couldn't resist. Bad me, bad me." And I wrote back, "But that was awful," meaning him dying without anyone realising he was dead in his house, right? Here I wrote, "It is him. Family and 2 undertakers just carried him out in a body bag and put him in the hearse. I offered my condolences from my garden." Like kind of yelled it across the road. I didn't feel it was appropriate for me to go over there, since I actually cursed him, the old bastard, for torturing that sheep. But the condolences were for them, not for him. I felt sorry for their grief. I mean, after all, it was her father and the ex-husband, but by the gods, he was an asshole, that old man. He really was an asshole. So I couldn't actually, in good conscience, be all that upset about his passing, to be honest. Years of threatening me with rape and then torturing that sheep, and then he would intermittently, he was so psychotic, think he was my new best friend, so he would come over here and befriended my dogs. "I've befriended your dog so that he doesn't bark when I walk into your yard, so I can come in the night and rape you and the dog won't bark." This is his mentality. He was right off his chops, the old man. I said, "Which stick would you like me to put you in hospital with, the big one or the small one? Because if you're coming to rape me, mate, I'll be fucking ready for you." This is how we used to talk to each other, and he'd kind of get off on it. He was that disturbed. Anyway, when he died all alone in his house, and I had no frickin' idea. He'd been lying there for nearly a week. It was awful. The daughter helped load him in the hearse, then broke down, understandably. Well, his daughter was training to be a doctor at that time, probably is a doctor by now. And one of the last times he threatened to rape me, I said to him, "Isn't your daughter a doctor?" Yes, she is. I'm very proud." I said, "I wonder how your daughter, the doctor, would like it if I went to her job at the hospital and told her father regularly threatens to rape me." And he looked at me and he went pale and he went, "Please don't do that, Tanya." I went, "Well, you have a say in whether this continues or not." And to his credit, that's what it took to stop him threatening to rape me with monotonous regularity, threatening to tell his daughter what an animal her father really was. Anyway, I feel sorry for the daughter to this day having a father like that, but I guess she doesn't know the full extent of it because I never told her. There's no need to put your shit on the next generation, and the old man had been dealt with accordingly. We actually wondered, my friend Jared and I, if the boarders had killed him. It did cross our minds because he took in all these boarders randomly a few weeks, about a month or so before he died, and then they were kind of disappeared for a week and then he died. It was odd. I still have my suspicions, to be honest, but can't prove anything, you know. I replied in another comment, no, we were not close friends or anything. I called out to them. I needed to know for sure it was him, but didn't want to go over there when they were bundling him in the hearse. Her mother was with her, his ex-wife, so she was supporting her daughter. Both mother and daughter are doctors, and he claimed to have been a veterinarian surgeon, but I think that was a delusion on his part. Mostly he just worked with pest control and poisoned all the house and land and killed all the bees, and then complained to me he had no fruit. I said, well, when you kill all the bees on your land, you fucking idiot, you're not going to ever get fruit, fat. You're going to kill us all, kill our environment. It's dangerous what you're doing. Can't help wondering if it's why I had all my pets die of cancers over the years so suddenly from all the toxicity that he poured down, and then all the, anti-termite poisons on my land. It's just cumulative fucking poisoning, isn't it? Well, anyway, my health has spiraled under in recent years too, probably for the same reason, the truth be known. 2nd of May 2017. Yes, freedom and love, my two favourite things. The quote was, to commit oneself to freedom and to find out what love is. Those are the only two things that matter, freedom and that thing called love, which is the hill I will die on, my love of freedom and my freedom to love, as is my normal spiritual human nature. Crazy winds today. Second of May 2015, 4:18 p.m. I got up at 3 p.m. in terrible pain in my left leg. No surprises there. Dancing in the night in damp cold air with arthritic joints will fuck me up like that. I have been in the garden enjoying the late afternoon sun. You will be amazed to know that I didn't melt or implode under the sun's patient, bemused rays. Almost a vampire, but not quite. Half a vampire. That would just make me a vamp. So tonight Karen is coming over, and the Tanya, also known as the psychedelic dreamer, will be ramping up the vamp and hot and tottering again with painkillers. I love my resilience, stamina and bon vivanterie. Is that even a word en français? Oppress the girl, the wife, the mother, the divorcee, the exhausted, zombified mental patient, the sexy senior citizen, and you get me in my current incarnation. I love it. I am whom I am becoming. Now my bones give me a reality check and just ask me how I plan to walk and dance and twirl and stomp later. Shh. Ezekiel's dry, remorseless bones. It is only a matter of changing gears into turbo thrust overdrive and a little thing called Jack Daniels. Oh, and wanting to have fun before I die. My answer? A spasm of pain and a severe ache. Limping my way into the sunset instead of riding full tilt on my trusty steed towards my even trustier knight in shining armour. The prick is a narcissist. It takes days to WD-40 and bedazzle that armour. Lots and lots of spit and polish. As for me, the lame lone wolf, all I have to do is show up, darlings, evil grin, throw down my handkerchief and act all faint and femme fatale. I've got this. Not. Still crazy and single after all these years. Loving it, living it, being it. And my beautiful friend Sally Castle wrote, love the replacement of O with I to get zombified. Go girl. I wrote, lol, that was a typo. Oops. She said, I know, but somewhat appropriate. Maybe it should be zombified to go with the dancing theme, smiley face. So I replied, Zumba, Pumba, Doomba, Moomba, Samba, but mostly just mad leaping about and spinning out of men's clutches, laughing out loud. I am in agony tonight, still going out though, with Karen. I had to take painkillers, laughing out loud. My friend Julie Goddard wrote, I don't know why you do this to yourself. Is it really worth the pain? And I replied, yeah, I enjoy the dancing. Tonight the band played Nirvana and Zombie. I went off, which was back in the days when we weren't munted down and dulled down by Mother Hydra's babies growing in our fucking veins. So we weren't afraid of being our wild, natural selves and moshing until our heads almost literally fall off. But for the love of my beautiful friend who I do value and adore, I will obey his instructions. I will just do my wild moshing in the privacy of my own home, since venues have kicked me out of 2 spaces now. That's how much they fear my wild, carefree, shamanic dance. I think what they really fear about it is it might inspire other people to own their own power and their own energy and their own life force and maybe even fight back. Am I right? I think I'm right. Last night I paid the Jordanian or Palestinian or Turkish guys in the kebab shop back the $6.90 I owed them from last week when I bought a Goslim on FPOS and found out I had no money. How embarrassing was that? This is my lifestyle, people, and all I can do is fight back with my wild shamanic dance that they even want to take that away from me. They had kindly given the Goslem to me anyway, so I kept my word and paid them back. Some drunk Scottish guy who saw what I did kept telling me I was a good girl. That's not why I did it. Just simply that had I not paid them back, the next time someone was short of cash, they would not be just as inclined to help out. It's called paying it forward and doing the right thing by people. Also, I don't like money weighing on my conscience. It sickens me. My mother told so many lies about me and my relationship to money. She made me out to be a no-good Nick and a bludger. Ironic, as she exploited me, then lied about me in her salacious will. Well, I am not her. I will never be her. I would rather starve and live on the streets than be her. I gave my $3.10 change to Katrina, who also thought I was a good girl. Am I a good woman? I am a wild woman, that is for sure. I expect to be treated justly and with honour to the same degree I treat everyone else. Is that being good? I'm not sure about that, since this little heathen went out on Shabbat, cavorting again. Happy Oneg Shabbat. I do what I want, whatever. Laila Tov, Boker Tov. Good night and good morning. Time to sleep again. 7:05 a.m. Soaking my sore leg in a hot bath. I went out to the casino. I danced until they kicked everyone out at 5 a.m. What happened to being open 24 hours? So I finished off my night sitting next to Katrina, my streety friend. She was happy to see me. We smoked some of her cigarettes together. I had 3, which is highly unusual for me to smoke that much, by the way. I usually just bum one just for the camaraderie of it. I must have been in one of my altered states I get into from time to time. Some young guys came along, promised Katrina $5 if I danced with one of them. The chutzpah of it, really, treating us like we're just whores, am I right? So I got up off the ground. Young'un had to help me up, as I'm a bit crippled with my left leg. We danced nicely, and he was the perfect young gentleman. Katrina offered me the $5, but I said, nah, I would have danced for free, as I enjoy it. We had a laugh, and I gave her the $5, by the way, even though technically I earned it. It was just some little head fuck about money again, am I right? That men like to play with me. Men and my dead mother used to like to play with me. Head fuck me about money, and it's guaranteed to be the beginning of the end of a friendship or a relationship. I hate being head fucked about money. A PNG, that means from Papua New Guinea, lady came along and sat with us on the ground. She is an RN, a Master's in Mental Health. Reminded me of Gail. I seem to meet a lot of Masters in Mental Health. They must give that out easy as bro, laughing my ass off. Of course I kept that ungracious thought to myself. I got hit on by 2 men at the casino. One was all right, but creeped me out about how much he wanted to kiss me. Ooh. I don't kiss men at the casino. I used to witness the slathering going on with the casino nymphomaniacs, and I used to literally start to heave. It was awful. And the other was a 19-year-old redhead. I told him I was old enough to be his grandma. He said, "You'd be 50. Cheeky blighter guessed my age. So I sent him on his way, admonishing him to find himself a much younger woman, laughing my ass off. I don't know what that's about. The predators and the perverts that used to come to the casino, barely out of teenagehood, hitting on me for sex. It's just bizarre. But I guess as my former boyfriend from 14 years ago used to say, any hole's a goal, am I right? That's their mentality, and it is filthy and dishonouring and disrespectful. So here I am, bathing like Bathsheba, feeling replete and content after knocking back some nice men while I pine away for Wiglet. Oh, all together now. Oh, I will have to snap out of it sooner or later. Took me 10 years to snap out of that. I don't know how he managed to do such a number on me, really. It must have been spiritual or karmic. I still don't understand it. But to be fair, at least with me in public, he was a gentleman when he used to come to the casino. Although I caught him lolling his tongue around fucking Catherine's gigantic maw, and so I nicknamed him the Ruling Epiglottis because it was really that foul. And that was the beginning of the end, actually, when I realised he was just fucking, wow, the male equivalent of cheap, am I right? Anyway, no cheap men need to apply for top position in psychedelic dreamer's life or in my bed. I'm done with the cheap and the filthy and the acopic and the weak and the vicious and the dishonouring. Doesn't leave me much though, does it? Zombie, 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 be. But if I have to live out my life alone for the rest of my life, rather than be in some filthy, fucked up, soul-destroying, life-threatening, tawdry, awful relationship or partnership with a man who doesn't love me, doesn't care about me, doesn't ever have my back, like I had in my marriage, by the way, and with Courtney, by the way, then I'd rather die all alone in my bed than be with another asshole ever again. And so this is why I move in and out of almost Pollyanna, idealistic fantasies of having my truly loving partner with me and being in love, to the other extreme of sabotaging and literally chewing my own arm off at times out of a really reality-based trauma state, fear of being with another asshole. I just can't do it to myself. I just can't. But I've been so sweet and romantic and hopeful and idealistic in recent months. Well, I guess the last couple of years I started to blossom out and have high hopes for someone wonderful coming into my life. And then it kind of got catalysed and blown out, I don't know how or why, with Bobo's death. And then I guess after I caught COVID in October, it kind of emanated even more, that desire to live fully and vibrantly and joyously with a beautiful, handsome, loving man by my side. And so here I am, 8 months later. Nothing has really manifested in real terms, and the cracks are starting to show, and I guess I'm disappointed. Reality has kicked back in and I'm disappointed, and that's okay. I'll get over it. I've been more than disappointed before. I've been fucking suicidal over an asshole before. We won't be doing that again, motherfuckers. I won't be gifting you my head on a plate, literally or figuratively. Love me as I am. Love me truly. Love me honouringly. Love me sweetly and kindly. Or slough the fuck off. Either way, I'll be okay, no matter what happens. It's one thing Charlie teaches me every day. Love because you love, with no expectations. Try not to get my hopes up, and stay in my own lane, dancing my own dance, walking my walk and talking my talk, and writing my memories and my stories and my more up-to-date anecdotes as life flows experience to me, and be happy no matter what. Even though I'm quite tired, I'm reasonably contented. I've had a nice time in the last couple of years, really, with people being sweet and romantic and kind to me, and I do appreciate that. In spite of my rebellion and my defiance and my warrior goddess ways, I'm wise enough and old enough to see through all the bullshit and appreciate the good that comes also often with the bad. Are you going to poo, Charlie? I'm trying to beat you at your own game. It's not going to happen, is it, Charlie? Perhaps tonight, Winky Face. Meanwhile, I have a date to hang out with Katrina again. Later, I said. 12:19 a.m. Just woke up, slept during the worst of the storm. It is all over. Tempted to go out, but perhaps the highway is a bit dodgy. The Bruce Highway is underwater in places, but the Southeast Freeway will be fine. Charlie? Oh, it's a nice little cuddle I'm getting. A nice little cuddle from my birdie. I guess it can wait until tomorrow night. I hate being trapped and housebound on the weekends. Yes, why should I be trapped and housebound on the weekends? That can be sometimes are my loneliest times on the weekend. I seem to not get lonely much during the week, but if the weekend comes and I'm trapped by inclement weather or not having enough money or not having, my car going or some other thing that blocks me, it really grinds my gears. That's how much I love to be out with live bands dancing my wild dance. Good job. Good job. Good. Did you enjoy visiting Rosie yesterday? It was nice, wasn't it? We made a nice video. Rosie was happy to see us. We're very lucky, Birdie and Mama T. Very, very lucky indeed. 2nd of May 2014. 12:07 a.m. In bed, alone, with Miss Pennycat. Remember Penny? Oh, what did you do that for? Naturally, purring. Penny, not me. I'm in bed alone post-gastroscopy, early in bed, alone with my cat. Sigh sighs. No man wants a woman who belches with a hiatus hernia anyway. This is true. Life is celebratory freedom. Life, that should say in. Life in celebratory freedom to be continued. Party on. Who needs a man? This woman is used to being wild and free. It's my superpower, actually. Fills them with abject terror. A woman who is wild and free. Fortunate to be alive, wild, free, fabulous. Burps. Say what? Penny, stop that. You are ruining my man infestation. Manifest, Mama. Manifest. Oh yeah, that one. Yesterday, just as I arrived home from the hospital, a man called out to Crystal and I. He'd been knocking on the door. He used to live here as a child, as his father was in the Air Force. He wanted to see the house. So we invited him in, and he was so happy and grateful. I understood how he felt as I also visited my childhood home in Island Bay in Wellington. But this was back in late 2004, early 2005. But I was too shy to ask the current owners to let me see inside. Part of me didn't want to see strangers in my house or the changes. I stood on the foreshore and cried as so much of my soul has been left in that house. So many difficult memories. I think it helped me a lot in my healing to be able to stand there and see how nothing really changes, even though time marches on. The seascape was the same as I had spent years exploring. The cliffs behind, still covered in flax that I used to jump in. The houses still standing. Only the inhabitants had changed, and renovations to the homes. It was a very humbling experience to see how ordinary everything looked compared to my memories. On 5th of May, I will have lived in my government house for 11 years. Try 21 years this May 5th coming, which is in 3 days' time. This has been my only home where I am safe and comfortable. I am so grateful to be living here. I wish I had won the will dispute, as I wish I could have bought this house. I wish I could have security for my old age, but it was not to be. In the meantime, I enjoy my home and the garden I have created here. Life is good at last. And my beautiful friend Sally wrote, and thanks Tanya for giving my pussycats a home, kiss kiss. And I replied, you're welcome. Your pussies are quite settled now. Even Socks is staying around more. Cooler weather, lol. He is not silly. Finally got to sleep around 5 a.m. Had to take another 50 milligrams of Seroquel to do it. Damn. Not so long ago, 25 milligrams did the trick. I slept until 4 p.m. Just got up. I was exhausted. And it's not actually a sleeping medication for sleeping. It's for, anti-anxiety drug. Much higher doses are given to schizophrenics, by the way. So I was on quite a low dose to try and tamp down my chronic anxiety. But anyway, in the end, I got off all those medications, and quite frankly, I never looked back. I still have chronic anxiety though from time to time, and would have been good to have had the medical marijuana, the CBD oil, but I couldn't afford it, so I just managed my moods day by day, surfing them like Captain Ahab chasing after Moby Dick. So now the day is over and I am raring to go. I might go out later, see how I feel. No alcohol though, as it's too soon after the procedure. Fortunately, I can dance all night and have a fantastic time, sober too. I think I might take things a bit easy though. I missed a rainy day, but the night will still be cold and wet. Crystal has my car, so I'd have to bus in and back. She wants to take me to Toowoomba tomorrow. Not sure I fancy that idea now. I feel a bit discombobulated. However, that is tomorrow, and I have the entire night ahead of me. Shabbat shalom, smiley face. P.S. That fucking treacherous creature, name starts with S, is taking me to the elephant to dance with Burst. Yay! So I did go out, even though I should have been resting after I'd just had a procedure done. But this is the nature of the Tanya. Wild, free, carefree, joyous, berserker on a raid, goes dancing even when she's post-recovery from some unpleasant experience. I can't sleep, so now watching Masters of Sex. It's a good TV show about Masters and Johnson, who did studies on sexuality in the 50s and 60s. It was a bit weird watching it with my daughter though, lol. My friend Nicole Kenning wrote, "When can I see you?" And I wrote back, "Going to Murphy's tonight. You coming out? If so, wrap up warm. Bitter cold winds. We should catch up soon regardless. Might come to your side of town and have lunch with you, smiley face." Here I posted an article, a little known prophecy about the Statue of Liberty that will shock you. And I wrote, "Lol, I don't believe in doom and gloom prophecies. Life will always find a way. The cataclysmic Hollywood ending of the statue means she has already been destroyed in film. Nevertheless, before we revert to the planet of the apes, I doubt this is the real outcome of the Messianic age. Something to think about nevertheless. I pray Lady Liberty's light never dims." Thomas Sheridan said she's not actually a lady, but she's actually androgynous and is a representation of Lucifer. But Lucifer was an angel of light, actually in Roman times. Phosphor was his name. And so, may the light of awakening, of consciousness, never dim. Liberty and justice and peace for all. That is my Moshiach Be'ezrat Hashem. Shining a light in dark, putrid, ignorant, sordid, seedy, putrescent, unholy places. The light of wisdom, of Chokhmah, Bina, of knowledge, the light of Da'at, justice, the light of Tiferet, beauty, the beauty of nature all around us. And on it goes, and on it goes, with my little musings there. 2nd of May 2013, I had an odd night's sleep, went to bed at 1 a.m. and was wide awake again at 4 a.m. Read Facebook news feed until 4:45 a.m. Then back to sleep. My left foot was throbbing from where I had the septic arthritis. It's annoying to think I will have this pain for the rest of my life. Yesterday I was feeling creative and empowered and positive that my future could hold some lovely prospects for me. I've been feeling much more positive since my weird week last week, which went from the ridiculous to the sublime. Using that word a lot lately, sublime. I like when I feel sublime. I must keep my head up, keep moving forward, and keep hoping I meet a man who is ready, willing, and available to have me in his life. A genuine, loving, faithful man who makes me laugh, but can be sensible too. If I must cede my freedom for a secure relationship, then I will need a man who totally gets me and has some stability, as well as being artistic and fun. My issue is that I'm afraid to sacrifice my hard-won freedom while I keep attracting men who are deeply afraid of themselves, life in general, and of love. I don't have time for game players. Coming from a family of sociopaths and paedophiles makes it very hard for me to attract healthy, strong, balanced men. It's not fair, but this is my reality. Yet I aspire to have what every other human on this planet desires, a real love connection. I wonder if the Matrix will ever quit, leaving me flailing out in the discordant, cacophonous, lonely outreaches of this paradigm, and let me plug in the blue pill or the red pill. Meanwhile, I comfort myself with lollies and the occasional Jack Daniels. All good. I have beautiful friends and aspire to meeting a lover who is as loving, devoted, and passionate about me as my longtime friends are. With one specific difference. Blushes. Update 2021. Silly chook, it never happened, but what a sweet, deluded, wishful heart. Update 2022. Rolls eyes. Update 2024. It's been lovely, the potentiates. Still rolling my eyes though. You have to laugh. I am deeply and truly loved by my beautiful, handsome, talented, gracious, kind, nurturing, platonic, agape friends though. 2nd of May 2011. I have had a rather pleasant day. Lynn visited me with lovely gifts, a transistor radio so I can keep in touch with the outside world during moments of isolation, and yummy bread, and the most precious gift, her loving attention. Then I watered the entire garden, and I was so happy and relieved and astonished to find my missing gold torque bangle amidst the branches of the lemon myrtle tree. Lol. Phew. Update 2022. Isolation mentioned again. 2nd of May 2010. Today I spent 4 hours in the garden. I still have lots to do, like stake the non-fruiting, uncooperative dragon fruit plant, dig out the veggie patch some more, and do some garden edging with the free bricks I've got. I planted the cuttings, etc. that Lynn gave me yesterday, so it all looks lovely. And thus concludes today's readings and musings of even date. I'm happy and grateful to have you, my YouTube audience, bear witness to my truth and my lifetime experiential awarenesses, and even tolerate me as I move in and out of ordinary reality and go in my little disassociative segues. And wow, if you choose to watch my videos, I guess we're on this journey together, making sense of our world and finding meaning. Am I right? So, God and Goddess bless you, me, us, and as my usual motto is, gifted me by 2 Jewish doctors from my Jewish community many years ago, remember, never ever let the bastards grind you down. She's going to poop. I'm waiting for it. Well, have a beautiful day, people of Earth, and I'll speak to you in the very near future. Bye for now.